Taiwan's legislature rejects judicial nominees. Crack found on New Taipei Bridge, no safety threat. Colby advocates for TSMC destruction in event of Chinese invasion. Honda and Nissan officially begin merger talks. Thousands protest in Serbian capital over fatal train station accident. FDA approves weight loss drug Zepbound for sleep apnea. Google suggests fixes to its search monopoly. The Grinch arrests suspected drug trafficker in Peru.
Hello, I'm Wei Lee. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Wednesday, December 25th. Merry Christmas to everyone, and here are your top stories. In local news, Taiwan's legislature voted against several judicial nominees, including Zhang Wen-zhen and Yao Li-ming, for judicial yuan. Despite support from the Taiwan's People's Party, Liu Jingyi received only 8 approval votes, as the DPP opposed her nomination. A crack appeared on the Beijing Bridge connecting New Taipei's Xingdian to Taipei City on December 24th. The crack, caused by thermal expansion and contraction, spans both lanes. Authorities confirmed the structure is unaffected and safe. Albert Colby, appointed by President-elect Trump as Deputy Secretary of Defense, has repeatedly suggested that in the event of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan, the U.S. should target and destroy TSMC semiconductor plants. He emphasized that this decision should not be left to Taiwan alone. And in global news, Japanese automaker Nissan and Honda on Monday announced they had entered into official talks to merge and create the world's third largest automaker by sales. Honda's CEO said the company needed greater scale to compete in the development of new technologies in electric vehicle and intelligent driving. A business integration would give the company an edge that will not be possible under the current collaboration framework. The deal aims to share intelligence and resources, deliver economies of scale and synergies, and protect both brands.
A holding company would be formed as the parent company of both Honda and Nissan, listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. The larger Honda will nominate most of the integrated entity's board members. The merged group has the potential to deliver revenue of 30 trillion yen and an operating profit of more than 3 trillion yen. Honda reported 1.382 trillion yen in operating profit for the full year ending March 2024, compared to Nissan's 568.7 billion yen. The companies would have a combined value of nearly $54 billion. Discussions are set to conclude in June 2025. Nissan's strategic partner, Mitsubishi, has been offered the opportunity to join the new group and will make a decision by the end of January 2025.
Thousands protested Sunday in Serbian's capital, Belgrade, demanding that leaders take responsibility for the collapse of a train station roof that killed 15 people last month. For over 7 weeks, the Serbian government has faced pressure from nationwide demonstration following the deaths, with many protesters accusing authorities of corruption and inadequate oversight. Sunday's protest, organized by university students, began with 15 minutes of silence as a tribute to the 15 victims of the incident. The demonstration occupied Slavia Square, causing traffic disruption in the city center.
The state is children's property, and protests are exams. Read some banners held by demonstrators demanding the resignation of the Prime Minister and the Novi Sad mayor, as well as the prosecution of those responsible. Farmers, actors, and other citizens from across Serbia joined to support the students. The students also called for legal proceedings against demonstrators to be dropped and for the prosecution of those who attacked protesters. To diffuse anger and calm the protests, the authorities have promised various subsidies for young people over the past weeks. 14 people, aged between 6 and 74, died on November 1st when the roof collapsed after renovation works on the station. A 15th victim died in the hospital weeks later.
The FDA has expanded the approval of weight loss drug Zepbound to treat obstructive sleep apnea in adults with obesity. The decision makes it the first drug treatment for the disorder, which affects about 39 million adults in the United States. Zepbound, which shares the same active ingredients as Lilly's diabetes drug Mounjaro, is already approved by the FDA to treat adults who are overweight or have obesity. The expanded approval may encourage more insurance companies, which have been hesitant to cover expensive weight loss drugs, to pay more for the medication.
A study of more than 4,000 people found people with sleep apnea may also be more likely to have memory or thinking problems. The approval supports evidence that GLP-1 drugs improve overall health along with weight loss. In March, the FDA approved Wegovy from Novo Nordisk to reduce heart disease risk. Other studies are underway to explore whether GLP-1s can help prevent Alzheimer's, curb addiction, and delay kidney disease. It is unclear how Zepbound helps people with sleep apnea, whether it is through weight loss or if tirzepatide, its active ingredient, has another effect on the body. In Lilly's sleep apnea research, participants who took Zepbound lost an average of around 20% of their body weight.
Alphabet's Google proposed new limits to revenue sharing agreements with companies, including Apple, that makes Google's search engine the default on their devices and browsers. The suggestion stemmed from the U.S. search giant's ongoing antitrust battle over its online search business. In August, U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta ruled that Google illegally crushed its competition in search. In a legal filing submitted Friday, Google argued that it should be allowed to continue entering into such contracts with other companies while also widening the options it offers.
These options include allowing different default search engines on different platforms and browsing modes. Google's remedies also call for partners to change their default search provider at least once every 12 months. The proposals contrast sharply with the sweeping remedies suggested last month by the U.S. Department of Justice, which recommended Judge Mehta force the firm to stop entering into revenue-sharing contracts. Google's search engine accounts for about 90% of all online searches globally. In a statement, Google called the DOJ's remedies overbroad and said even its own counterproposals, filed in response to a court-mandated deadline, would cost their partners.
The Grinch is not just stealing Christmas this year, he may be busting drug gangs too. A Peruvian police officer dressed as Dr. Seuss' infamous Christmas-hating grump took charge of the naughty list last week by leading a police operation in the capital Lima to dismantle an alleged drug trafficking gang. Footage showed the Grinch, dressed in Santa's jacket, running down a street with a sledgehammer slung over his shoulder. The Grinch smashed a door with a hammer and, alongside other members of law enforcement, raids a building housing a family of alleged drug dealers.
The identity of the officer dressed as the Grinch was not disclosed. The police and the Grinch uncover what appears to be drugs. Video footage then shows the Grinch escorting two women into the back of a police car. An officer, standing in front of the Grinch and his sledgehammer, states that his team captured 3 drug dealers who are now in custody, after an agent ingeniously managed to go unnoticed disguised as the Grinch. Photos released by the police also show the Grinch standing next to the suspects beside a table covered with what appears to be cash and drugs seized from the scene. The operation was part of the police unit's ongoing tradition of dressing agents in festive costumes for operations during holiday periods, such as Halloween and Christmas.
The answer for yesterday was B, monument. They built a monument to honor the soldiers who lost their lives. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of thousands of protesters in Serbian capital over fatal train station accident. Number 1, oversight. 监督. The government has put in place new oversight measures to ensure that taxpayers' money is spent appropriately. Number 2, proceeding. 程序, 过程. The legal proceedings were delayed due to the complexity of the case. Number 3, apnea. 呼吸停止. People suffering from sleep apnea often experience disrupted sleep and may feel tired during the day. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Wei Li, your host. I'll see you next time.